Picture this. Santi is on a ridiculously fancy yacht. Think champagne, sunshine, the whole shebang. And there's this young Thai guy, Santi. He looks like your average dude, nothing flashy. But his eyes are locked on something. A tube of lipstick specifically. The bright red lipstick in the hands of this stunning Chinese girl. Now Santi's got guts. He walks right up to her and starts explaining, all flustered, that he really needs to borrow her lipstick. Like it's an emergency. The girl is hesitant, as you'd expect. She's all, dude, this is like a personal item. I don't really lend it out. But Santi's not giving up. He immediately offers to buy the lipstick outright. He's like, name your price. See, he's been on the hunt for this exact shade. A perfect, not too loud brick red. And finding it on this yacht is proving to be mission impossible. This girl's lipstick is the only one that fits the bill. Here's where it gets interesting. This lipstick probably cost her around 1,500 Thai baht, about USD 40. But suddenly, she's smelling opportunity. She hits him with a price tag of 3,000 baht, around USD 80. She raises her eyebrows, smirks, and asks, so, are you gonna buy it or what? You're a good-looking guy. You can't be stingy like that. Then, she adds, hey, I could have asked for 3,500 baht, so don't say I'm greedy. Then, Santi gets this surprised look on his face. Turns out the girl speaks fluent Thai. He immediately gets all embarrassed and starts smiling apologetically. Seeing that she's got the upper hand, she starts pressing him. That's when Santi gets this mischievous glint in his eye. He tells her a little white lie. He says he doesn't have enough cash on him, but he can give her 1,000 baht as a deposit, along with his business card from the travel company he works for. He promises to bring the rest of the money to her hotel room by 9 p.m. that night. And honestly, he looks so sincere, so honest, that the girl reluctantly agrees to the deal. She hands over the lipstick. This awkward, kind of hilarious transaction, believe it or not, is the unlikely beginning of Santi's million-dollar career. Turns out, that day he's working as a personal translator, basically a 24/7 assistant, for this ridiculously wealthy foreign investor. Like, we're talking serious money. But Santi actually has an ulterior motive. He's trying to sell a riverside condo that he's having a hard time unloading. So he starts to bring up the condo to this rich guy. And the investor flips out. He starts yelling, what the heck are you talking about? Didn't they tell you what your job is? He makes it crystal clear that Santi is just a translator. And he needs to stick to translating and stop talking nonsense. After getting chewed out, Santi doesn't dare mention the condo again. But then fate intervenes. There's another woman involved here, and she needs lipstick to make herself look more attractive. Santi hurries to look for some, and the girl promises to help him sell the condo. This is precisely what led him to search for the lipstick frantically, and he noticed the beautiful foreigner who was on the phone earlier. Finally, the workday is over, but the rich guy stops Santi as he is about to leave. He asks him where he is going since his job isn't done yet. To sell the condo, Santi is forced to listen to him. But after looking at the pictures of Santi's condo, the rich guy bursts out laughing. He asks Santi if he's ever even been to the property. He says, that's Udom Travel Company. It's built right next to the garbage dump. Nobody lives there. It stinks to high heaven. Who in their right mind would buy that? The rich guy ends it all by calling Santi an idiot. It hit Santi like a freaking lightning bolt. It was brutal. In that moment, he realizes he's been played. He's been completely scammed. That money he used, his savings, was to buy into a sales quota. He was supposed to sell timeshares or travel packages or something. But there's a glimmer of hope. The rich guy, despite being a total jerk, hands Santi his business card. He actually invites Santi to his birthday party next week. He says that maybe he can sell to his clueless friends. Santi grabs that card like it's a life raft. But there's always a catch, right? As Santi reaches for the card, the rich guy lays down the condition. Santi has to make up for the losses today. To make up for him being scammed, he has to do his job as a translator perfectly. And if he doesn't, he's fired. Santi has no choice. He reluctantly turns around and sits back down. He quickly realizes it's going to be the most humiliating day of his entire career as a translator. The rich guy is constantly yelling at him. Don't be so whiny with your voice. Stop gasping, idiot. He's just completely berating him. As a result, Santi has to work overtime translating all night long. The next morning, Santi rushes to the hotel to pay the girl for the lipstick. But the entire tour group has already checked out. They're gone. However, she left behind Santi's business card. On the back, she wrote two big characters in Chinese, which translate to scammer. Santi just laughs and shakes his head. Because honestly, a few months ago, he was so poor, he wasn't even worth scamming. To give you some context, we need to go back in time. It's 2015, and Santi is working as a sand miner in a small rural district of Thailand. He's so broke that even when he wants to smoke, he can only pick up discarded cigarette butts. The one thing he had going for him was his pretty good Mandarin Chinese. He often helped his boss negotiate with the Chinese buyers. One time, the Canon Corporation was trying to buy out his boss's business and lowball the price. The boss, determined to maintain his dignity, stood firm on the price. The boss reminds Santi to be professional and not make himself look bad. The deal falls through. The future of the sand mine is looking uncertain. Then, by chance, Santi sees a poster for a speech being given by the owner of Canon Corporation himself. So, Santi goes to the university auditorium to see this legendary figure in the business world. After hearing the speech, Santi is super excited and becomes the most attentive person in the audience. He asks the big boss, "How can someone like me who doesn't have any money become successful like you and get to the top?" Believe it or not, the next interaction completely unlocks this sand miner's entrepreneurial thinking. The big boss says that money is everywhere. The key is whether or not you can see it. If you want to make money from him, you have to think about what you have that he doesn't. He asks Santi, "Young man, I've been standing for so long, my legs must be really tired. Right now, you're standing in the front row. How much are you going to charge me to buy your chair?" Santi understands the need of the other party, so he opens his mouth and demands 10,000 Thai baht approximately, USD 275 for the chair. But immediately, someone else offers a lower price. There's even someone who only asks for 1,000 baht approximately, USD 27, and they'll even throw in 2 extra chairs for free. It's clear, it's fierce market competition. But this doesn't stump the clever sand miner. He says, "If all the chairs belong to me, then you can only buy them at my price." Not only does Santi take the lead in that discussion, but he also manages to leave a huge impression on the big boss. He asks Santi what his name is. Santi tells him. He asks him what he specializes in. Santi said that he specializes in digging sand. Inspired by that speech, Santi comes up with a brilliant idea to save the sand mine. So he schedules another meeting with the Canon Corporation representatives. But this time, he doubles the price from the previous meeting. The other party is stunned. They intended to force the price down, but now it's not decreasing but increasing. Turns out Santi put into practice the method he learned from the speech. He signed sales contracts with all the other sand mines. If the other party transports the sand from another province, the costs incurred will be much higher than his price. Moreover, the other party's project schedule is very tight, and the cost of stopping work is even greater. Clearly, there's no other choice. The other party has to reluctantly agree to his price. The representative hands Santi 50,000 Thai baht, around USD 1,400, and says he'll start as a mine manager tomorrow. Santi gets this 50,000 Thai baht reward, and is promoted to sand mine manager with a salary of 50,000 a month. But Santi, being Santi, is thinking bigger. He smells the money, but he does something a little different. He puts the money on a scale, a regular kitchen scale. That 50,000 baht only weighs 50 grams. He wants to receive a large sum of money all at once. The boss asks Santi what he wants to do in business. He says he just wants to make a lot of money. The boss remarks that young people now have a big appetite. Santi agrees, saying that he has a big appetite because he is poor. The only thing Santi has now is his fluent Chinese, which his mother taught him since childhood. But materially, he has nothing, not even shoes to wear. When hungry, he can only go into the forest to shoot birds with leaves. If he shoots a few birds, his mother will go hungry to give them to him and his younger brother. The only chance they get to eat good food is at Christmas, when people from the city bring food to the church to distribute. He was very happy when he was young, but when he grew up, he realized that the things that were donated were actually things that others didn't need. Santi wonders why he was born into poverty. He just wants to make a lot of money. When the boss asks him how much he wants, Santi hesitates for a long time and then thinks of the largest number in his head, 1k Guriade. That's roughly 2.2 pounds. The boss also realizes that this boy has great ambitions, so he helps him in his own way. He takes out all the money he earned to gather enough 1k. He tells Santi that plucking bird feathers and plucking chicken feathers takes the same amount of time, but chickens have more meat. He tells Santi that he is a smart person and must think carefully. Receiving the help of a benefactor, Santi went to Bangkok to realize his great ideals. And when he has money, the first thing he does is send a box of candy home and tell his younger brother to take care of his mother. He must fill the scales in his heart before returning home. Hard. Now that he's fluent in Chinese, he quickly becomes a favorite among the tour guides. He's making money and getting closer to achieving his goal of having 1 kg of cash. Thanks to his relentless efforts, everything he sells at Udom Tours, even the expensive rubber pillows, becomes a hot selling item. His tips keep getting higher and higher. Then, one day, he happens to host a business partner on a tour. He sees the guy wearing flashy gold chains and a gold watch, and when he asks about it, he finds out the guy is a real estate agent selling properties to Chinese customers. A light bulb goes off in Santi's head. He immediately thinks of a way to make more money. He deals with hundreds of tourists every day, and selling condos would be so easy. Selling condos requires one to put money out to purchase the sales quotas, but selling one condo could net him 500,000 baht, close to $14,000 in commission. The real estate broker has a total of 40 condos, and getting through all the condos can net him 20,000 baht, over $500,000. Santi, like the big businessman he admires, fearlessly goes all in when opportunity knocks. He asks if he can buy all 40 condos and pay in cash. Just like that, he walks straight into a trap, and he happily gifts the broker 2 rubber pillows as an extra incentive to secure the deal. But Santi's first deal is completely shut down by the rich guy that calls him freaking Jimmy. Luckily, Santi has one more opportunity to attend the rich guy's birthday party. As soon as he walks through the door, he sees the founder of Canaan Corporation. Also Tai is Mr. Also there. Santi excitedly rushes to greet his idol, and to his surprise, the founder of Canaan Corporation recognizes him immediately. The rich guy is also overjoyed and eagerly invites him to drink alcohol, and intends to introduce him to all his friends to prove his glorious spring night victory. But Santi, never one to be shy, immediately switches into selling homes. This interesting topic causes discomfort among people. The rich guy quickly mediates that, saying that if you go on like this, everyone will get mad. Santi, ever the businessman, is stubborn because he spent 10,000 baht on an airplane ticket. With no other alternative, the rich guy pours himself a glass of wine. He says that to avoid ruining the atmosphere, as long as Santi finishes the glass, he will reluctantly buy a condo. Santi replies that he came here to sell homes, not to beg. The rich guy asks him if he is going to drink, and if not, he should leave. Santi is not only serious, but is also a stubborn person who has his own beliefs. He asks him if he is going to buy one condo if he drinks one glass. Then how many houses will he buy? If he drinks many glasses, the provocation works. The rich guy is willing to play this surefire game with him. Santi, ever the showman, is young, and makes a bold declaration right there. He says he'll drink 40 glasses. If he doesn't drink enough, the rich guy doesn't have to buy a single condo. Dare to even try. Having been challenged so openly in front of his friends, the rich guy had to rise to the occasion. He takes out a super strong brand of vodka instead, which puts Santi in a very difficult position. But because Santi is naive, or as we say in America, ignorance is bliss, he pours 40 glasses full of vodka. Without a second thought, he downs the first glass. At this point, the rich guy is under pressure to honor the bet too. He says, 1 glass, 1 condo. The second glass, 2 condos. The third, 3 condos. The crowd loves it. People are cheering, egging them on. As a result, Santi is downing drink after drink. After finishing the 20th glass, he throws up and collapses to the ground. He is completely out cold. The other party starts to worry, saying that if this goes on, someone will die sooner or later. The rich guy tries to get him up. However, after waking up, he has another crazy outburst. He is willing to hurt his liver so that he can secure sales contracts. He is soaking his stomach in alcohol in exchange for achievements, where every drop of alcohol is a form of debt for his poor life. But the 1 glass of alcohol that he drank was actually just water. Santi asks why he was given water instead of vodka. He wants to drink alcohol, and he will drink alcohol. He gets a lighter and sets the drink that's water on fire. But this is no longer a bet. This is using his last drop of rationality to secure his financial goals. Finally, even the fire itself he drinks, swallowing it whole. This is the moment he understood that it wasn't the 40 properties that were at stake, but the fire burning everything he had. When Santi wakes up, it's the next day. That's when he remembers to call the rich guy to apologize. The rich guy is a big businessman. Even after nearly burning his house down, he gives Santi a chore. He asks Santi to deliver some dog food to his clients who live in Shenzhen. It's while Santi's at the shipping center that he discovers a huge business opportunity in China. It only costs 5 yuan to ship something. And right there, in that moment of realization, he starts to build his own business empire. In his hands, he starts counting. This is when he starts to make a fortune. He remembers the words of his old boss. Plucking bird feathers and plucking chicken feathers takes the same amount of time, but chickens have more meat. Back in the plane, Santi meets a mysterious figure and is upgraded to business class. When he got to his seat, he realized that the founder of Canaan wanted to talk with him. He sees his ambition and his willingness to risk everything. which made the founder of Canon interested in Santi's business skills. So he wants to bring him to work for his company. But Santi doesn't want to be an employee for others. Otherwise, he would not achieve his small goals. He wanted to be the first to rush up to the front, like in the speech. When Santi confidently mentions that business opportunity, Mr. Cannon actually offers to buy all 40 houses to trade for the young man's business secret. With it, a great map slowly appears in his description. Turns out, the shipping fee in Thailand is 50 Thai baht, but in China it's only 25 Thai baht. A low price represents a highly effective process. Because of this, he plans to cooperate with a Chinese express delivery company and use cheap prices to open the Thai market. With cheap shipping fees, merchant costs will decrease. Once the goods become cheaper, more people will shop online, and the more people who buy, the larger the market will become, and his business will also make more money. Mr. Cannon asks Santi how rich he wants to become. He replies that 100 million Thai baht, approximately USD 2.7 million, should be enough for him to use for life. Mr. Cannon says that the business that he had just described could make tens of billions. Just like that, without even a PPT PowerPoint presentation, Santi secures his first investment for his business empire. Not long after returning home, he receives a gift sent by Mr. Cannon. The cooperation between the two is officially unveiled, but unexpectedly, when Santi hosted the representative of the Chinese company, he was shocked to find that the assistant director of finance of the other party was actually the girl who sold him the lipstick, Xiao Yu, who was mainly responsible for the survey of the whole team. Thanks to Santi's reception, the person accompanying the group asked if the two knew each other. Both Santi and Xiao Yu replied that they don't know each other and said that they're honored. In the next journey, Santi led the Chinese survey team to conduct on-site visits. He created an illusion of the prosperity of the Bangkok express delivery industry. But Xiao Yu recorded the whole process and discovered that the numbers of the translations were somewhat exaggerated. She pointed out that Santi said that he could deliver hundreds of items a day, but normally it's only 50, and sometimes 100. With the previous misunderstanding, the feud between these two enemies has now been sown. At the second business, Santi began to feel guilty and deliberately shielded the cameras. He made it very clear that he's only showing popular stores, and used the excuse of traffic jams so that they couldn't visit the small stations. But Xiao Yu has many years of financial experience at a listed company, and is very angry with these investment scams. She has always been patient because she is optimistic about the strength of the Cannon Group behind her. For this reason, at the seminar between the two parties, she suggested that in a fast-growing environment, there is no time for trial and error, and at least one should find a more experienced leader. The target was aimed directly at Santi, who wasn't very honest. The big boss in China also hesitated. Fortunately, Mr. Cannon remained calm, approved of Xiao Yu's views, and also gave the operations manager a chance to redeem himself, and told him to tell them the story of Mama Instant Noodles. Turns out the path to redemption is built on emotion. Only telling a great story can capture the investors' hearts. In an unexpected turn, Santi is very smart, and talks about his initial goal of creating a cheap express delivery service. Because when he was young, he especially loved eating instant noodles, but had to save up 7 Thai baht to buy a pack. And even then, he had to eat it with rice to feel full. But in the city, a pack of noodles only costs 5 baht. At that time, he was shocked, and other things were much cheaper than in the mountains. Santi expressed his dream of hoping that rural people can enjoy the same costs as city people. He said that there are countless times more poor people than rich people, and our logistics industry will give everyone a chance to become more equal. His emotional speech successfully won the sympathy of the big boss in China. The big boss tells Santi to remember his words: "You serve society, and society will naturally reward you." The boss of the Chinese company agrees on the spot, and immediately proceeds with legal procedures. At this time, Xiao Yu carefully jumps out and presses the pause button. She said that market research needs to have numbers as proof, but the reality is that she wants to verify her assumptions. Santi agreed and told her to hurry up. That night, Santi guarded the hotel, waiting for the survey team to appear. He originally intended to develop the professional qualities of a tour guide, leading everyone to experience the nightlife of Bangkok. He didn't expect that the misunderstanding between him and Xiao Yu would be directly related to the success or failure of business cooperation. He leads everyone into an underground casino in the alley, and quietly sits down next to Xiao Yu. He says that in the Thai casino there is a saying: when women stack chips, that means that the person next to them is about to have bad luck. But the poor kid Santi doesn't believe in this, because every time he bets all of his assets, and shouts, "All in!" And luck tonight always has him collecting all the chips on the table by himself, until Xiao Yu gets 2 cards of the same suit, and also has a perfect opportunity to pair with the 3 cards. Face down, she shouts. All in. Xiao Yu couldn't help but laugh, thinking that this idiot wasn't lucky enough to win every time. Allowing a person like him to be the operating officer would be too risky. Santi says that only those who dare to take risks can win, and her safe game doesn't make money. The girl said that she only bets on surefire games and shouts, all in. Xiao Yu doesn't want to waste any more time, and simply uses this round to determine the winner or loser. Tonight she turns over her cards and gets a full house. This time, it's Santi's turn to have the pressure. It looks like Xiao Yu is sure to win, and it is easy to see through him. And it seems like he can't hide anything at all. But when he turns over his cards, the wins and losses immediately change 180 degrees. Straight flush. The tension is still through the roof. Santi won the bet, but in reality, he lost the opportunity for cooperation. Now there's video as proof, and it's clear that everyone is holding the same box. So it's clear that everyone he hired, right? Santi felt very guilty, but pretended to be wronged. He explained that the carton was monopolized by a few companies, because it was cheap and was popular among everyone. He said that she has a prejudice against him. The girl replied, the more boastful you are, the more obvious it becomes. Luckily, Xiao Yu can distinguish between work and personal feelings, but Santi has fallen into a serious crisis of confidence. So, Mr. Cannon waves his pen, and directly writes a check for 5 million Thai baht, and tells him to tell Xiao Yu that after the work is done, they can hire her as the director of finance. He told Santi not to destroy their empire because of his carelessness. After verifying the details, the survey team did not find large discrepancies in the data. Xiao Yu also personally went to the stores to conduct surveys, and found that offline business was 3 times better than online. Unexpectedly, Santi finds her at this time. Xiao Yu believes that data alone isn't enough for cooperation, but Santi makes a proposal that can change the situation. He hesitated for a moment, with his hand stuck inside his pocket. He knew that bribery had no effect, so he simply lowered his worthless self-esteem. He apologizes, saying that he won't do it again, but he was lying, and was really shameless. He admitted to spending money to hire people to line up, but that was only his idea, and he will be fully responsible. He doesn't want everyone to lose the opportunity to cooperate because of his stupidity, and asks for one more chance. Xiao Yu says lying even once is lying, and no matter how much he apologizes, it won't change the truth. Xiao Yu can't stand deception, and turns around and leaves the awkward scene. It was thought that cooperation would collapse. Santi was so nervous that his legs started shaking non-stop, but unexpectedly, the result announced by Xiao Yu was that the cooperation between the two parties could be achieved smoothly. She said that they will immediately go back to speed up the drafting of the contract, and hope that the Cannon Group can start preparing for the opening of 50 branches nationwide. Next is the celebration party, and the shareholding of the 3 parties also has a clear ratio. The Chinese side requested to hold 51%. Santi said that the key to the express delivery business is technology. Mr. Cannon replied that they use the other party's technology and brand, so Santi can only account for 49%. Mr. Cannon invests 30 million Thai baht to account for 30%, and Santi puts out 19,000 to account for 19%. But even the money is the commission he received after the other party bought all of his condos. However, in his excitement, he also made a fatal mistake, and this mistake will quickly push him to the brink of destruction. Santi said if it can turn 100 million into 10 billion, then he'll have at least 19 billion. Mr. Cannon replied that it is not that simple. He will have 30 billion, which is a little more than he has. This is Santi's immature mentality. How could he know that he and the big boss are not at the same level? Mr. Cannon says that thanks to Santi, they have been able to get to this step. Santi doesn't know the weight of these words, but believes that he deserves to wear an expensive watch like that now. He wants to tell his family the good news, but is afraid that this huge amount of money will scare his mother, but turns around and brags to a strange hand, some guy, that he is about to start a big business nationwide, that the partner is business tycoon Cannon, and even went to the other party's house and saw a beautiful model who seemed to be the other party's lover. The handsome guy was very surprised after hearing this, and smiled, and gave him a friendly high five. The next day was the day to see Santi give Thai specialties to everyone in the survey team. At this time, he knew the reason for Xiao Yu's change of mind. It turns out that the other party is willing to give those who know their mistakes a second chance. She told Santi not to mess up, and he swore he wouldn't let her down. And before leaving, he also asks for Xiao Yu's contact information. Santi says that he is very persistent. Is she inviting him to come here to work? He says that he is interested in her. Santi's meaning is very clear, and Xiao Yu also feels the signal he is sending. So she left her phone number and sent a photo of her and her boyfriend. Santi understands that if it is not about work, he shouldn't text her. But as soon as Xiao Yu got in the car, she found an envelope in her gift bag. She opened it and found 3,000 Thai baht that Santi still owed for the lipstick. It's clear that the complicated story of the two people has only just begun. In the days that followed, Santi was the foreman for the stores, until he receives an emergency call from Xiao Yu, and knows that there has been a major change in the cooperation. The price for his ignorance has finally arrived. Mr. Cannon invested an additional 1 billion Thai baht, and Santi's shares were diluted to 1.9%. He angrily stormed into the venue, and his repairman t-shirt was out of place with the gorgeous scene. The press conference has been held, and the host announced that Cannon's son will take over as the director of the Thai branch. It turns out that the big boss never considered letting Santi be in charge of management, and had already planned to push his son to the CEO position. Cannon's son commented that the champagne Santi bought was too difficult to drink. Originally, the wrong pot with the wrong lid. How can Santi's aesthetic taste be compared with the son of the rich? He still wanted to go forward to reason, but was blocked by Mr. Cannon and the security guards. Despite the result, which he can't accept, the way this turns out is in line with the standards. Although the idea comes from him, the power of money deprives him of the right to speak, whether he agreed from the beginning or to keep his mouth shut. The big boss only exposed that he pretended to be a major shareholder, and also needs a trustworthy CEO. Santi angrily asked if he was already going to steal his ideas. Mr. Cannon replied that he had already paid Santi the information fee. In his anger, Santi once again wildly declares that he will start his own company, which will be 10 times bigger than his company, and then he will come back and step on his head. Mr. Cannon replied that he suspects Santi is just a small bug at most, and told him to remember this sentence. The familiar contempt of the big boss has also created another business legend to reverse the situation. Santi immediately calls Xiao Yu to express his desire to start his own express delivery company immediately. He said that he needs an IT team and to find him the best person, and that he wanted the best person. After hanging up, he took the nearest flight straight to Shanghai. Like every startup, he meets a technology expert at a ramen noodle restaurant. He even ritually placed the chopsticks. But unexpectedly, the other party is also not an ordinary person, and also speaks fluent Thai, and already knew his intentions. But the other party only asked a commonplace question. Why do you want to start an express delivery company? The other party doesn't want to hear those emotional stories, and also understands a lot about the price of the Thai market. The only thing that moved him was that they both had the painful experience of being kicked out of the game by their partners. He commented that an idiot like Santi can't manage a startup company well. It turns out that the other party has received an invitation from the Canon company and will fly to Thailand next week to meet. Santi's journey to find talent has failed, and his budding love also seems to be destined to be a one-sided dream, because Xiao Yu is already engaged and will soon enter the wedding hall. Xiao Yu's boyfriend is a tall, rich, and handsome man with ambition, and the two look very high quality and talented. But as soon as Xiao Yu returned home, she found a summons from the court. Her boyfriend asked what's wrong. Xiao Yu replied that it was a summons from the court for her father. Xiao Yu deliberately provokes her boyfriend, saying that she has received an urgent invitation from a startup company in Thailand. On the surface, she's going to work as the director of finance, plus the attraction of technical shares. But in reality, she only glanced at a message and came up with this risky plan to save herself. She wants to earn enough dowry in Thailand in 2 years to pay off her father's debts. She asked if their wedding could be postponed a bit, because there is a startup maniac in her heart. Only by joining Santi, who is in high spirits, can there be hope. So Santi waited 5 days and finally got Ruiji, this hot-tempered madman. Santi, that madman, brings 10 million in cash for the madman, all for the development of express delivery software technology. But Ruiji doesn't even bat an eye, and goes straight into the office building of a competitor. Ruiji said Santi is right, he is an idiot, but he doesn't care about him either. The young master of the Cannon family comes and throws out the same old question. Why do you want to start an express delivery company? Ruiji said the Cannon family's young master is really a hot-tempered tea lover. How can the young master of the rich understand, when technologists cannot know either? He just likes to be straightforward. He still explained as he was making tea, which is for the children in the mountains. Who knew these words had already been heard from Santi? Ruiji said that it is too stupid to bear. And Santi's startup story also started from the moment Ruiji left this building. The person Santi was waiting for got into the car, but didn't know the other party was only seeing him as a free driver. At the airport, he deliberately drives very slowly on the road, constantly persuading Ruiji to stay. Seeing that the other party is as stubborn as him, He madly drives the car straight up the overpass. Ruiji scolded Santi is a jerk, a pighead, and a useless person. Santi took out 10 million from his pocket, saying that this is the starting capital of their company, and refusing to cooperate for one more second is equivalent to losing that much money. He told Ruiji to see for himself, and as long as he agrees to cooperate, the shares of the company will be divided equally between the two. And Ruiji can also retain all ownership of the source code. Ruiji shouted, "What the heck? Are you crazy?" Santi said to look at this. The madman finally met a compatible madman. Ruiji said this is crazy enough. Ruiji not only agreed to cooperate, but also understands that the source code can only be the asset of the company. Otherwise, the IT team cannot call for investment. For easy management, the founder must also hold the largest shares. He said that he'd take 3 parts, and Santi takes 7 parts, so it can better resist hostile takeovers. The two people reached an agreement of cooperation. Santi hurriedly pulled the car over to the side of the road, and he was not only overjoyed to celebrate, but it was more important to minimize the loss of startup capital. This message from Santi made Xiao Yu see the hope of paying off her father's debts. But when the 3 people met in Thailand, Xiao Yu appeared as an interviewee. She had prepared carefully, had completed the entire incentive system, and even the listing time plan, along with the asset evaluation and profit forecast. She alone can take on both financial and human resources work. This happens to make up for the weakness of the IT team. But when it comes to salary, Ruiji thinks of the old boss, who only knows how to take advantage of others, and he said that it has nothing to do with Santi, and to keep quiet if he doesn't know what to say. Xiao Yu said she doesn't want to take advantage of Santi, and only wants to have shares, and wants to use this money to pay off her father's debts. Ruiji yelled for her to get out and go begging. At this time, Xiao Yu knows that she is carrying the huge debt for her father, 100. Thai baht. This time Santi is embarrassed, but Ruiji, next to him, gets mad, and he tells her not to play around and to keep dreaming. He wants to talk about her most recent lie. This is the only strange topic in the interview with the 2 people. Xiao Yu had to tell the story of postponing her engagement, and that she can guarantee to increase the revenue to 2 billion in 2 years. She said that if the financial loophole can't be filled, 8 out of 10 startups will be blindly destroyed. Ruiji asked her what she said and to say it again. Xiao Yu said to decide it like that. This sincerity moved Santi, so he agreed to take out 5% of the shares without capital for Xiao Yu. So he still takes the majority of the 30%, and Ruiji doesn't need to change. Also, because of the debt, a talented person like Xiao Yu will absolutely not back down. The 3-person startup team has finally been officially established. At this moment, Santi says the name of the company can't be changed, and the 2 words, Shan Rui, represent Santi and Ruiji. Ruiji replied that it's no problem. Santi said that it's good because he wants revenge, and Xiao Yu wants to pay off the debt. He said that she can start all over. Xiao Yu said that it is a crazy company. The first step in starting a company is to start from the hotel's chess room. Ruiji's technical department took the lead, and he was ready to stay up all night, and also hired some new graduates. He immediately began assigning tasks, and everyone started from the demo program to prepare for Santi and Xiao Yu to call for investment. He asked Frontend to complete the interface in 3 days, and the basic framework has already been built by him. His characteristic hot temper has also made these leisurely Thais feel what real Chinese speed is. In this way, the IT development team entered the 996 work mode. Santi and Xiao Yu take advantage of this time to look for funds. His method is also very unique. Each of the big shots in business magazines has to be screened one by one. After determining the goal, the 2 began to frequent various exhibitions and fairs, and the top task was to exchange business cards, so that they could knock on the office doors of the big shots. Xiao Yu also leveraged her beauty advantage, and tried to get to know as many senior leaders of various industries as possible. The second step is to send an email to schedule a meeting, and then meet to introduce the express delivery software developed by Ruiji. They scheduled one meeting after another, but the result was rejection after rejection. Time passed, and Santi and Xiao Yu were always busy but did not see results. Unexpectedly, they are about to face a heavy blow, because the Canon Group has sent an invitation letter, and the Jizu Express Delivery has taken the lead in holding a press conference. The 3 people can only stand and watch from afar, and Canon's son began to give a speech, saying that it all stemmed from a friend of his, a child in the mountains and doesn't need to say much. He grew up in poverty, and he told me that rats were his source of meat. It's clear that Santi's startup idea has been packaged by the competition into a touching and emotional story. Moreover, the 500 stores nationwide have launched a shocking price of 25 Thai baht, which immediately caused cheers at the scene. Seeing his ideas being copied, Santi felt helpless. Xiao Yu said that in China, if someone copies your business model, it means it's feasible. This means that the price of 25 Thai baht that he had set before was correct. Also, from this moment, the crazy attribute in Santi's body is gradually awakening. However, after repeated rejections, Xiao Yu has a very rational analysis. The top task now is to find a completely new selling point for the product. She turned the car window into a whiteboard, drawing 4 quadrants with 2 factors: price and quality. Xiao Yu said that Canon has many branches, but the price is high. Jisu mainly hits the cheap price, and their Shan Rui is also in this quadrant. If they engage in a price war, their current capital will definitely not last for 2 months. This shows that the red line of 25 Thai baht cannot be crossed. Santi immediately realized that he had to aim for higher quality to have a way out. He said that we have to go here, and if the price can't be lower, we have to make the quality higher. But if they were to take advantage of opening many stores, they would need to raise at least 1 billion baht of capital. But the investors they have visited are not many. Xiao Yu has shifted the target overseas, but more than 20 emails have sunk into silence. They have fallen into a deadlock. What's more frightening is Rui Ji's hot temper, which has changed from a conflict between employees to a quarrel between partners. Rui Ji said, "Don't argue anymore. Santi is just a pile of Santi's team is the same, and he challenges Santi to do it alone, and he won't hire anyone anymore." He asked Santi if he had raised the capital, and if they were about to starve to death. Santi is useless, and he said that no wonder Canon doesn't want someone like Santi, and yelled at Santi to get out, jerk. The war with the competitors has just begun, and their internal pressure has not been able to withstand the pressure, and they are fighting like a pot of porridge. Fortunately, at this time, Xiao Yu finally received a phone call from a Chinese investor. But the time is urgent because the other party will be boarding the plane in an hour. The two rushed out. Xiao Yu's heel was lost while running, and the heavy rain made the atmosphere even more tense and smelling of gunpowder. Xiao Yu also got into the car, and the 3 of them rushed straight to the airport. On the way, Xiao Yu bought the plane tickets, and they can only meet Mr. Wang in the waiting room. But they are right at the door of Jisoo. They were blocked by the crowd, who were busy sending goods. Santi looked and asked if Jisoo's people had free lunch. He said they are all their future customers. When the 3 people arrived at the check-in counter, there were only 20 minutes left to open the boarding gate, but there were only 2 tickets. Xiao Yu had to find a way to get through security by herself. However, during the inspection, an accident happened, because the mushroom haircut on Santi's ID card didn't match the real person. Without waiting for the other party to verify, he took out a pair of scissors and cut off the mushroom bangs on the spot and rushed straight in with his ID card. Fortunately, Miss Wang was still in the waiting room, but they only had 5 minutes left to persuade. In the investment world, legendary stories in 5 minutes are not uncommon. But just at that moment, Xiao Yu's computer couldn't be opened. Unexpectedly, Miss Wang understands the project very well, and only wants to know how they will catch up with their competitors. She said that the reason why she let them come here today is to know what makes them different, or if she is wasting time. Xiao Yu was stunned, and the CPU in Santi's brain was about to burn out. At the last crucial moment, Santi said that they would go straight to the customer's door to make money. Miss Wang was finally interested. Santi's method is to compete on service and pick up the goods at home without minimum consumption. It turns out that this idea that came up in a state of desperation is the customer's weakness that he just saw when he was stuck in traffic. Santi said that no matter what the weather is like, they will serve as usual, and no one has ever done door-to-door service in Thailand. He will go to their door even if it's only 1 item, and no one will dare to do it. Santi's creation is the soul of the company. Xiao Yu, standing next to him, was also shocked, thinking it would cost a lot of money. Miss Wang knew that they were in urgent need of capital, and wanted to use USD 15,000 to exchange for 30% of the shares. Xiao Yu looked at the watch and left an even more shocking answer. What about USD 15,000 for 15% of the shares? Rui Ji angrily yelled, 30, what the monkey? Unexpectedly at this time, Rui Ji rushed in, and it turns out that his previous company was subject to a hostile takeover, and Miss Wang was involved. Even though the madman was shouting and making a lot of noise, Miss Wang knew that they had no other choice. Understandably, businessmen pursue profits, and investment and profits are a win-win business. At this crucial moment, only the major shareholder, Santi, can decide. Santi said that it can't be more than that, And if it's not possible, it's as if he never came here. This is Santi's last stubbornness. They also lost the opportunity to raise funds again because of this. Xiao Yu said that if they had taken the bait, they would have been finished. And it was right for Santi to let her go. Santi replied to shut her mouth if she didn't have a better way. Just as the small group was arguing, Santi discovered that Miss Wang was calling back and immediately excitedly turned on the speakerphone. Miss Wang said that she really hates the name Shan Rui Express Delivery, and can they change it? But the 15% can't be changed. Miss Wang replied that, okay, then 15%. Before the three could react, their fundraising was completed through a phone call. But in his joy, Ruiji fell asleep on the chair because he hadn't slept for 4 days. Big problems will happen with so much effort. So, Santi immediately took the IT development team to the sea to celebrate. But unexpectedly, Ruiji still had to take advantage of every free second to catch up with the progress. So Santi suddenly had the idea to directly hug the technology expert and jump off the boat. The IT team was immediately infected and also jumped into the water to celebrate. They forgot one thing. Because no one told the boat driver, everyone was stuck in the middle of the sea. It seems that the Shan Rui company had an unfavorable start, and just started, and it all died. Fortunately, everyone was successfully rescued after 1 hour. Even though there was heavy rain and wind in front of them, the Thunder Express delivery was about to open ahead of schedule. But what's ridiculous is that Santi momentarily forgot the letter H in the middle of the company name. As the workload increased, the number of employees has also expanded 2 or 3 times compared to the original. However, before the official opening, some aggressive motorcycle gangs came to the door. The blonde leader swung an iron bar and specifically asked to see Santi to talk. The results exceeded everyone's expectations, and it turned out to be good friends bringing a big surprise. The friends Santi knew all came to help as drivers, and even custom made a CEO helmet for him. Their publicity method is close, and soon cheerful songs can be heard in the streets and alleys. On the first day the app was released, Santi equipped all the drivers with mobile phones. And even though the cargo box was made of paper, it didn't make it difficult for poor children from the mountains. I want all of you to remember today. This is the first day we went to war. No matter what you have experienced before and what you have done. And now you are working with me, and I want you to know that I trust all of you. Santi and the drivers are all from the poor class, and the competitors wait for customers at the store, and they take the initiative to go to thousands of families. The IT team invented a mobile scanning device, which is equivalent to each person being a store, and our 50 stores can run very fast. Santi shouted for everyone to go to Watergate, and you too, on Tonglang. Santi's exciting speech made everyone see the shadow of leadership, and our goal is to deliver 10,000 items a day. Set off and crush them, set off. He put on the custom CEO helmet and rushed to the front, and the Thunder Express delivery was as fast as lightning. However, Thunder just opened and had a big gift. And the young Master Jisu secretly did tricks to send 3,000 fake items every day, and the address quickly piled up with returned goods. According to the regulations, parcels must be delivered 3 times if they are not received and stored in the warehouse for 30 days. Santi opened it and saw that it was all gravel mixed in the parcel, and could not be recognized normally. The drivers were tired to the point of crying, and some even fought negatively. Xiao Yu worried that blindly adding more drivers, they would lose 2,500,000 Thai baht per month. If they continue like this, no matter how enthusiastic the company is, it will collapse sooner or later. Continue blindly moving forward without knowing how long the money raised can be burned. But retreating is even worse, equivalent to sitting and waiting to die. Unexpectedly, the competitors just pulled tricks to torture the startup. However, the solutions are always more than the difficulties. Santi is a small cockroach who never gives up. As long as you don't give up, you haven't lost yet. The turning point still came from Xiao Yu. When the two talked about her father selling the house to pay off the debt, Santi associated this with how to solve the situation. After verifying, it turned out that the fake addresses were all foreclosed houses that no one wanted. There were a total of 28 senders, each sending 100 to 120 parcels at a time. Xiao Yu led the development team to immediately extract data from the bank and put these addresses on the blacklist. And soon the drivers received system notifications. Not long after, all fake senders were discovered, and the crisis was resolved. Santi and Xiao Yu planned a counterattack from 2 sides. Santi said that they are causing trouble for them, and they must counterattack. He said that the enemy has drawn their swords, and that they should take up their weapons. He said that they must take up the weapons and beat them. In 1 week, if you can grab more customers, I will reward you with 300,000 Thai baht in cash. The CEO of the express delivery company challenged the entire team of drivers. that if they could grab more customers, they would be rewarded with 300,000, and that hefty reward would attract brave men. This time the express delivery team must risk their lives. They shouted hello to everyone and said they were Thunder Express Delivery. And all the employees volunteered to work overtime and went straight to crowded places to promote. Directly scanning the code will enjoy a half-price discount, subsidized by them. Unexpectedly, Santi's method was to only target large customers, and he directly applied the shameless strategy. He aimed at Fat Sister Wholesaler, and after some enthusiastic announcement, the two became like-minded friends. Santi said to remember what he said, and that one day he will become the #1 logistics company in Thailand. He said that if she uses his company to transport now, she won't lose anything, and when he gets bigger, he will transport for her for free for 1 year. He asked if she wanted to grow stronger with him. In this way, the gap that was originally none, Santi immediately surpassed the captain of the drivers, and the captain became anxious. As a result, their next approach was even more extreme, and they actually sent a beauty straight to the Jisoo Express delivery office to grab people. Under the crazy leadership of the captain, they still shared the 300,000 bonus. Not only did they sell, but Xiao Yu also started a headhunting campaign for personnel. She said that they don't need a degree, don't check the resume, and those from Jisoo immediately received 3,000 Thai baht. An employee asked a man if he was interested. As long as the driver is willing to jump ship, Thunder directly rewards 3,000 Thai baht on the spot. Under the power of money, the number of their drivers has gradually increased. As a result, the weekly performance of competitor Jisoo quickly decreased by 17%. The marketing director was fired right at the meeting, and the human resources department was also helpless. In 1 week, 234 drivers quit because these people had all joined Thunder. Xiao Yu's plan was finally successful, and this commercial battle was a great victory. The business of Thunder became extremely prosperous, and the boss of the Canon Group received a parcel. And the sender signed, the one who digs sand. It's clear that this is Santi sending a declaration of war, and a major battle of life and death has just begun. Santi once said, "Remember that I will start my own express delivery company, 10 times bigger than yours, and I will come back and crush you." Canon replied, "Go ahead, but in the end, you are just a small bug. Remember what I said." At the same time, Santi also burned the conspiracy of the other party into ashes. He said that they will understand what real sacrifice really means. Not long after, Thunder's system welcomed a new update, and manual sorting also turned into smart conveyor belts. To expand the northern market, they tried to cooperate with another established express delivery company, but were directly rejected by the other party. Santi understands how to communicate with these rude northern men, so he uses a special solution among men. So he set up a race bet that if he lost, he would shave his head, and if he won, he would invite the other party to stay for the evening party. Either way, he wouldn't talk about cooperation, and even if the other party lost, they wouldn't lose anything. In this way, the two men started a unique race, and Santi finally won with tricks. And at the celebration party afterwards, he announced that he had opened branches in 76 provinces across the country, and is now a leading express delivery company, and played games with the drivers. Since they were all from the same hometown, and the IT team started the business, everyone had a lot of fun, and did their best. Seeing that the boss can drink and dance with each level of subordinates, the other party was also infected by this harmonious atmosphere, and immediately agreed to the cooperation plan proposed by Thunder. He said that he was only doing this for Thunder, and this was a result that even Xiao Yu didn't expect. Santi really has his tricks in this class. With Thunder Express Delivery, however, as the number of orders continued to increase, internal conflicts gradually arose within the IT team. Because the cloud data load was too heavy, Rui Ji needed to increase investment in the server ahead of schedule. But Xiao Yu, to save costs, insisted on waiting for feedback from users before increasing the budget. This made Santi stuck in the middle, and he didn't know how to reconcile the grievances of the two sides. At this time, a store was notified by the market to suspend business for rectification. The incredibly strange reason was that the sign at the door was 1 centimeter too long. As a result, after asking, the new manager knew that Jisoo had copied his idea and launched a door-to-door delivery service. If they don't get rid of this store, the Canon Group will cancel all lease contracts for all properties here. As a last resort, Santi could only choose another location to reopen, and launched a shocking promotional price, starting from just 19 baht. Soon the business of the new store had recovered, and was lively. Just at this time, he received a phone call to meet from Mr. Cannon. Currently, the number of orders at this new Thunder store is equivalent to the 5 receiving points of Jisoo. Santi couldn't help but feel proud. But unexpectedly, Mr. Cannon was sarcastic. He said that if he pulled into a price war, both sides would suffer, And at that time, the market would collapse. With his relationship with Santi, Santi would die first. Santi is still young, and thought that the other party was frightened by his cheap price strategy. So he decided to implement the unified price of 19 Thai baht nationwide. Unexpectedly, this is exactly the plan of the old fox. Thunder Express is also about to fall into a state of cash shortage. Xiao Yu asked Santi how he could make him lower the price to 19 Thai baht. Santi only believes in himself, saying that he only needs to make himself believe that his decision is correct. Even though Xiao Yu strongly opposed it, the decision he made cannot be changed. To avoid a financial crisis, Xiao Yu had to implement an emergency measure to reduce the salaries of all employees. Soon, Thunder's cheap advertising caused a sensation, and the number of orders also soared. All employees are participating in this battle for survival. However, the beautiful scenery did not last long, and the overload of work made the drivers tired both physically and mentally. But the final payday caused a collective protest from everyone. Everyone has to support their families, and everyone expressed their dissatisfaction with the salary reduction. Not long after, the programmers began to quit. Fortunately, Ruiji firmly sticks to the principle and tells them to get lost if they don't want to work. He said that if he can't anymore, he can deal with it for a while alone. But the drivers on the front line began to have bad intentions, and some people began to steal and resell oil, and some even faked parcels to increase the weight and steal money. What's more troublesome is that his good friend Huang Mao is also among the people who made mistakes. There is no doubt that at the crucial moment, Santi can only be righteous and kill his relatives. Even if friendship is no longer there, he has no choice. Who knew that from the moment he shouted the slogan of starting a business, he would go further and further on the lonely road. He has no way to retreat and will no longer have any friends. However, one disaster does not come alone. Unexpectedly, the number of orders has dropped significantly. The reason is not only that Jisu launched parcel insurance, but also that negative news is flooding the internet. It turns out that the video of burning fake parcels before, which was inflated by netizens for unknown reasons, has climbed to the top 3 of the search rankings. He also wanted to invite the media to handle the crisis, but the media accidentally became the subject of the report. Canon cooked up everything too suddenly, and Santi, who was originally stubborn, has finally completely collapsed. Xiao Yu asked why Santi dared to say that he was done, and he must persevere to the end. The slap from Xiao Yu woke him up, because no matter what happens, the founder must persevere to the end. After all, if Santi is done, everyone will have nothing. Xiao Yu asked if she couldn't go back to get married, because her fiancé is waiting for her. When Santi left work frustrated, he saw a small gift on his car. Unexpectedly, it was a bullet, and there was a note threatening to kill him underneath. This is also the path that startups must go through. His life and death are the same as the survival of the business, just in a split second. He stayed in the office and couldn't figure it out, and it must be an employee or a person who has quit, and had a grudge and was threatening him. However, the worst result is, fortunately, it's just a dream, but dreams are often a reflection of reality. After watching the tape again, he knew that the person who sent the bullet was actually his brother. Sure enough, the other party only wanted to warn him, because he saw his brother had just cut off their friendship. If there is a next time, it is likely to be life-threatening. However, you can't succeed without madness. Santi suddenly loaded a bullet and forced it into his brother's hand. He told his brother to pull the trigger and end everything. The brother replied, "No." Santi said that killing people is very easy, just like closing a business. But how can thousands of employees keep their jobs? How can his brother understand this suffering? Santi said that tomorrow, his brother can be in charge of managing the drivers, so that they know he is serious. Not thanks to him. His brother should have learned how to grow up long ago. But on his first day as manager, he still couldn't keep the friends who were about to leave. When thinking from the perspective of a business, he finally understood what helplessness is. Fortunately, before the money was about to run out, Thunder had another opportunity to reverse the situation. The #1 online sales platform in Thailand invited tenders. Originally, nearly 100 million orders per year were undertaken by the 8 express delivery companies present here. But the headquarters, for strategic reasons, will only choose one company with the best service as a partner. Santi and Xiao Yu saw hope. But the bidding process was also very dramatic. The other party ordered champagne glasses and used different express delivery companies to transport them. The representative said that none of them knew about this test, but they didn't see Thunder's parcel. Santi's feet couldn't help but shake again. This time, the other party does not accept any breakages. 4 glasses must be intact to enter the assessment round. She asked everyone to open their parcels, and fortunately, the Fat Boy delivery arrived in time. And he almost dropped the parcel because he was too nervous. The process of opening and verifying is like opening a blind box. and the strength of the competition with such fragile items is completely based on luck. There are 4 glass cups in the box, like 4 life-threatening escapes. Moreover, the other party requires extremely strict requirements, and even a small crack will lose the qualification to compete. Jisoo passed first, and Thunder also successfully passed the test. Only 5 companies are left in the second round, but the final test is even more cruel, and the decision battle will be held on Singles Day Shopping Festival. This time Santi is in a difficult situation, and whether they can last until that time is still a problem. But this game must continue to be played, because sticking to the big thighs also means being resurrected. They wanted to ask for more money from the investor, but unexpectedly, the other party offered a betting agreement. She said that she doesn't need interest, but must pay her back within 6 months. If she can't pay it back, it will be converted into shares, and add 15% for a total of 30%. It is understandable for investors to reduce risks, but this shows the evil nature of cutting the bottom of the pot of the other party. Ruiji said that the company is about to die, and she is still the same as before. A poisonous snake. This time, even Xiao Yu angrily turned off the screen. She can only try to borrow from the bank, however. At this difficult time, she received a phone call to meet with Mr. Cannon. Santi asked him what he wanted to do. When Xiao Yu met, she knew that the other party wanted to use 1.2 billion Thai baht to buy Thunder Company. However, this meeting was also the beginning of this old fox's serial plan. He said that they should answer quickly, because he doesn't like waiting. The next day at work, Xiao Yu was surprised to find that Jisoo's express delivery car was parked in front of the company. It was even more surprising to enter the office, and the big boss of the other party announced that he wanted to buy it at a bargain price. Santi asked what he was doing here. The other party replied that he just knew that Xiao Yu wanted to sell the company. The sensitive topic that was still undecided yesterday has been brought out in front of the partners by the old fox today. The other party's proposal has now become Xiao Yu's desire to sell the express delivery company. What's more frightening is that the other party also knows that there is only 23.5 million cash left, which is not enough to maintain operations for 2 months, and that they cannot last until the Singles Day bidding war. Financial secrets have been revealed. As the CFO, Xiao Yu has become the subject of suspicion. The old fox is indeed skilled, and before quoting the price, he threw a time bomb, saying that he gave Santi 1.2 billion, and this price is very generous. But the condition is that everyone stays except the founder Santi, who is fired. This is a major confrontation between teacher and student, and no takeover preserves life. Santi asked if 10 billion would close the deal. If he actually closes the deal at this time, there will be no market value of 300 billion in the future. Santi knows that the other party is also trying to hold on, and cannot be any better than him. He said to see who among them dies first. Seeing that the takeover failed, the old fox threw out a provocative statement. The captain doesn't listen to the helmsman, and the ship is about to sink. At this time, the competition between companies has turned into a personal confrontation. Mr. Cannon told everyone to talk. When the old fox just left, the time bomb was indeed activated. Xiao Yu objectively admitted that the price offered by Cannon is the most optimal solution at present. But Santi thinks that if she sells it, Xiao Yu can take 50 million to pay off her father's debts. Santi asked what Xiao Yu was talking about, and asked her why she was so desperate that she showed him their financial statements. Xiao Yu replied that she didn't, and that someone here sent it to Cannon. They have an informant in the company. Santi asked, shouldn't he be the one saying that there is an informant here? And is it the informant who wants to sell the company? He thought that it was Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu said that she and Santi founded this company together. It is clear that the 2 young people have fallen for the plan, and the quarrel cannot get the company out of the quagmire. Santi asked Xiao Yu what she was doing here, and she replied that she would leave without saying anything. After returning to the apartment, Xiao Yu was bored and immediately made a rash decision. She took her suitcase of clothes and went straight to the airport without changing. After she returned to Shanghai, the first thing she did was to meet investor Wang, and gave her an agreement. Miss Wang asked if she was sure. Xiao Yu hurriedly returned to the company at night and quietly brought a set of documents. However, the results can be guessed, and Santi roared like a storm. This made the little accountant, caught in the middle, suffer. And it was thanks to her discovery that this war was put to an end. It turns out that Xiao Yu brought a no-interest loan agreement, and she wanted to exchange shares for a loan to the company. Now only President Wang can buy it back, but 5% only exchanged for a pitiful 34,000 Thai baht. Although Xiao Yu felt guilty emotionally, this money is the only way for the company to last until Singles Day. She said that there is no other way, and this is the only way for the company to survive. Santi said that he doesn't want to owe anyone, especially Xiao Yu, and he doesn't want to owe her. He had to wait until the tears dried up to understand what a real startup partner is. But the truth cannot be changed. Now, what Santi should do most is to think carefully about the deployment strategy for Singles' Day. With this heavy loan, the crazy sand miner is about to return. He took off the watch that always reminded him of his humiliation, decided to forget everything and start again, and greeted the first ray of dawn the next day. Santi saw the shining hope again. However, there is still a big problem to be solved first. And who is the company's informant? He secretly called the middle managers to a karaoke room, and he asked everyone a question. How much money has Canon given you? The three partners were all present, and they eliminated their subordinates one by one. But after reviewing it, there were still no results, but all the trustworthy people were present, which happened to open a secret strategic meeting. Santi, inspired by the sun, had a completely new idea for the Singles' Day promotion. Delivery the next day, send today, and deliver tomorrow. He wanted to break the record for the fastest delivery in 2 days, which is a weakness that customers urgently need to solve. Santi's plan was approved, and preparations were made to merge the branches, integrate the receiving points in crowded areas. Each warehouse must increase the rate of receiving and sending parcels, and then triple the number of vehicles and employees. The CFO has prepared enough capital for this plan. The marketing and communications director said to leave it to me, and that they will try to find more drivers to participate. Ruiji said that they don't need to worry about his side, and that the Ruiji system deployed from the beginning can handle this amount of parcels. Xiao Yu said that they will gradually close the branches with low revenues, and only keep the ones for Singles' Day. Ruiji commented that it's worth using Santi's money, and that he's calculating so carefully. Xiao Yu told Santi not to let her down. If Thunder is a guerrilla army that specializes in taking shortcuts, then Jisu is a well-equipped regular army. But the ideas have run out, and all are still the same old tricks. But commercial spies have played an important role, and the information was immediately transferred to the young master's phone. The informant finally appeared, and it turned out to be the girl wearing glasses whose mother was hospitalized with cancer. Even though she said that this was the last time, the last mistake will still collapse like dominoes. On the night before Singles' Day, Santi's speech before this battle seemed extraordinarily tragic, because he didn't know if he would still be with the drivers after this battle. But today, he wants to thank all the people who are still persevering here. He doesn't care what the reason is for everyone to stay, and in short, he owes everyone a favor. This is their last bet. Santi said that they will usher in a completely new tomorrow together. Ruiji also promised his startup partners that he would take out half of the shares in his hands and share them with everyone sitting here. Even if it may not be worth anything now, the future can be expected. He just wants to thank all the friends who can stand shoulder to shoulder and have persevered here from day one. Xiao Yu said thank you very much, and that she can only give you these things. He asked what everyone was standing there for, and told them to continue working. Those who persevere to the end are the winners. Sometimes they really have to believe in the power of belief. Ruiji has also apologized to the girl, wearing glasses, for the previous harshness, and promised to visit her mother in the hospital after Singles' Day. Although this battle has been prepared, just past noon, they found that Jisu also promised to deliver within 24 hours, and it is clear that his idea was once again copied by the competitors. Now, there is no better way to deal with it than to risk their lives to the end. The drivers worked all night, and as soon as the sun dawned, they rushed to every corner. The number of orders on both sides does not differ much, and it is clear that both sides have fully prepared for this battle. Thunder took 20 minutes as a unit, and must complete the loading and unloading within the specified time. And soon the number of orders exceeded 83,000. But this news was immediately transferred to the young master's phone. As a result, the number of Jisu's parcels was only 77,000. The girl wearing glasses received a phone call with orders soon after, and the young master promised to import new drugs to treat her mother's cancer, with the condition that she would only help with a small task. After a period of intense ideological struggle, she still stepped towards the abyss of sin and logged into the management system with the administrator account. With just one click, the server can be restored to factory settings. At this time, Ruiji just happened to appear at the door of the computer room, and he realized the seriousness of the situation and thought of an excuse for the other party. He signaled that it's still too late to turn around. However, at the last second, the impulse in the girl's heart won over reason. The server was formatted, and it will take at least 20 hours to restore the system. Time is no longer enough. Now, the last informant has finally revealed his identity, and even the previous financial reports were revealed by the girl wearing glasses. The girl said that it's almost over here anyway, and even if she didn't do it, the result would be no different. The girl wearing glasses asked Ruiji if he could help her, and said that her mother is about to die. Perhaps outsiders cannot understand the girl wearing glasses, and that she can't afford the cost of her mother's medication, even if she works her whole life. Ruiji replied that even if his family is about to die, it can't be a reason for her to commit crimes, and this loss alone may have affected thousands of families of Thunder drivers. The girl told Santi to call the police and arrest her. According to Ruiji's hot temper, he only wanted to rush up and slap her, but because this was the subordinate he valued most, he still left the other party with a bit of final self-esteem. Ruiji said that this was his fault, and that he had not been able to make her believe in what she saw. At this time, Ruiji chose to forgive. Perhaps regret is the sin that the other party must carry for the rest of her life. Even though the conveyor belt had stopped sorting, Santi still did not give up the belief in victory, and they immediately applied the old method and started manual sorting completely by hand. But it is clear that even if they die of exhaustion, they can't complete it. At the crucial moment, he came up with a good idea again and stood straight on the high platform. He told everyone to stop what they were doing and take out their phones to call everyone. He said to call all the people they can call to help, and he will pay 1,000 Thai baht per person. If they complete it before 9 o'clock, they will pay 2,000 Thai baht per person. This is the final storm. Santi said that before 9 p.m., he can't leave a parcel, not even one. He shouted to everyone, and they must handle the parcels quickly but carefully. The server was destroyed by the informant, and they had to call all their friends and relatives to do manual sorting. The opponent sent old batteries and almost burned the entire warehouse. The trucks that had been booked have been robbed, and they would rather leave them idle than let them be them. Now it takes 6 hours to redeploy, and they can't deliver the goods the next day. Why and will be complained. Once the complaints exceed 6,000, Thunder will directly lose its qualification to bid for the online shopping platform. To win Singles Day, they bet all their assets. At the moment of life and death, it was Xiao Yu who came up with a solution to the dilemma. She transferred all the cars in the southern region to the northern region and converted the remaining goods to air freight. Santi said that the method is good, but the company doesn't have any money. Xiao Yu said that she still has a final reserve fund, but this is the last money. And now the company's brake pads have become the accelerator. How crazy can the delivery be? Thunder Express Delivery has deeply engraved sacrifice into the bone marrow. When road transport was blocked, they directly transferred the battlefield to the sky and bought plane tickets for 5 trucks of parcels. Xiao Yu asked Santi for his ID card. Santi said that there is only one flight left that can be used now, and the code is HZFX 186. But all 5 trucks of parcels must be brought to the airport before 10 p.m. They have to race against time, and the queuing time of 20 minutes was shortened to 10 minutes. So under the leadership of Santi, everyone immediately turned into a conveyor belt. The people from Thunder are working enthusiastically, while the warehouse of Jisu looks much deserted. The 2 cannon, father and son, thought that they had a sure chance of winning. But the young master suddenly received secret information from an informant. Seeing that his son didn't have any countermeasures, the old fox in the business world started to play tricks. He said that he was going to find an old friend for a drink. When the last shipment of Thunder was finished, even the dispatcher rushed to the front line to deliver the goods. He said that he could get there faster if he led the team. Santi replied, "Okay." The CEO escorted 5 trucks full of hope and finally set off. The reason why Santi can complete this miracle is thanks to the full support of all his friends and relatives behind him. However, without encountering major difficulties, how can he cultivate a startup into a demon? On the way to the airport, they were unlucky enough to encounter a surprise car inspection, and Santi immediately had an ominous premonition. He also found that the driver next to him began to panic. Santi asked him if he was addicted. Fortunately, there was nothing unusual about the identification documents, but the 2 trucks still needed to wait for the results of the urine test. The driver swore that he had quit drugs, but it had only been 3 or 4 days. The entire inspection process is like accepting the judgment of the law. The driver was sweating profusely from panic, and the person more nervous than him was Santi next to him. The inspector announced, 2 lines. This voice is like a death sentence. It seems that all the efforts of Thunder have been in vain. The inspector asked what they were waiting for and told them that they could go. 2 lines means that there are no drugs in your body. It turns out that it was all a false alarm. Santi's suspended heart was finally relaxed. To make this hasty guy safer, he also changed his slippers. But just as Santi was about to leave, he noticed something was off with the dispatcher's car. Turns out, the dispatcher had been using meth to stay awake for the past 4 nights straight. Lucky for Santi, the guy wasn't a driver, but then the vehicle registration suddenly went missing. Okay, having the guy held up wasn't the end of the world, but if they inspected the truck any further, they were all toast. Even though the situation was urgent, the law showed no mercy. the packages could be transferred and delivered. But the truck had to stay put. Right then Santi got a call from Ruiji, who was pushing him hard. He'd noticed the truck wasn't moving, and called to see what was going on. Santi told him that there weren't any other trucks available to step in. Thankfully, Santi had one more trick up his sleeve. He'd left a contingency plan in the system for just such a logistical emergency. Almost immediately, all the drivers in the area received an alert. If the truck couldn't move, they'd have to rely on manpower, pulling together, like worker ants, to get the job done. But with only 20 drivers who showed up, they couldn't possibly move the contents of an entire truck. So he had to go beg the police officer. Then, they found the missing vehicle registration. The dispatcher had been hiding it on his person the whole time. "It's right here," he said. Santi exploded. "You idiot." He was fired on the spot. Turns out, there was more than one mole in their operation. Santi didn't have time to worry about that now. He had to get the packages delivered, then figure things out later. But unbelievably, the information quickly reached the young master's phone. With only 5 minutes left before the cargo hold closed, Xiao Yu had to beg the airline to wait. But as luck would have it, they refused. Seeing the airport right there in front of him, Santi decided to gamble everything and floor it. Just then a pickup truck suddenly reversed, blocking the road. He swerved hard, but to avoid colliding with an oncoming vehicle, he flipped the truck due to the high speed. He passed out instantly. What he didn't know was that the pickup truck had deliberately blocked the road on the young master's orders. It was a cutthroat business, a real battlefield. There was no room for kindness, no middle ground. Either you die, or I do. Mr. Cannon also received pictures from the crash scene. It seemed that his son was even more ruthless than he was. Although 20 drivers arrived at the airport on time, half of the cargo was still trapped in Santi's overturned truck. With only 3 minutes left, it seemed hopeless. But Santi still refused to give up. He kept picking up the scattered packages, even as the heavens opened up, with a torrential downpour seemingly telling him to quit. He tried to flag down cars for help, but nobody was willing to stop in that kind of weather. Just when he was completely despairing, he saw Huang Mao, the guy who'd been fired, leading a group of people towards him. Huang Mao shouted, "Quick, pick up all the scattered packages." Huang Mao didn't say much, just quietly directed the crew to help load the cargo. He said he was there to help his little brother, just don't get the wrong idea. He may have been acting tough, but Santi understood. These were his real brothers. And just like that, another small delivery team began their journey of hope in the pouring rain. However, they had only gone halfway when they spotted a package that had fallen off the overpass. If he wanted to win, he couldn't afford to give up on a single one. If it hadn't been for the sudden downpour, the plane would have taken off long ago. But it gave Huang Mao just enough time to finally deliver the last of the packages at the very last minute. Clearly, time was running out, but Santi was still risking everything, speeding down the road on his bike. With so many packages damaged, they couldn't afford for Santi to be delayed any longer. Xiao Yu had one last resort. Even though Santi's cargo couldn't make the flight, luckily the plane didn't have too many packages. So the two of them rushed straight to the passenger terminal. They would personally carry this final shipment on board, relying on their strength. Even though the cargo was severely overweight, compared to saving the company, it was nothing. But there was only one seat left on the plane, so Santi had to go alone to complete the mission. Xiao Yu asked if Thunder Express made it through this crisis. Would Santi change his mind? She said that building this company together, sharing this grand dream, was truly wonderful. Even though Thunder Express was Santi's dream, it wasn't everything for Xiao Yu. She also had her own dreams and a fiancé who was waiting patiently for her at home. The two were destined to meet, but not to be together. They could only hug each other tearfully in farewell. However, unbelievably, Mr. Cannon had a fairly close relationship with the airline boss. To unload Thunder Express's cargo from the plane, he didn't hesitate to promise to partner with them and invest in overseas projects. Before long, the ground crew received orders to unload all of Thunder Express's packages. When someone asked why they had to defeat such a small company as Thunder Express, Cannon gave a deeply insightful answer. He said that some people have to start from absolutely nothing, working hard entirely on their own. He knows how much effort it takes to climb up and join the bigger circles. Mr. Cannon can't allow the common people to develop in an uncontrolled way, because people like Santi will destroy his class. But this time, he miscalculated. Only one package was unloaded. Turns out that the flight number wasn't wrong, but two planes were taking off at the same time that night. This time, the old fox was completely dumbfounded. It turned out that the flight number that Santi was on was HZFX 184. He had told Xiao Yu beforehand that after confirming the flight number, she couldn't tell anyone. because he had guessed that there might still be traitors around them. Santi said that only she could know the flight number. He only trusted her. Now that HZFX 184 had taken off, even the airline boss was powerless. The next day, Santi personally drove the delivery truck, but fainted from exhaustion. When he woke up, he found a nurse holding his ringing phone. Turns out that the Miley platform was about to announce the bidding results. He immediately borrowed a laptop, and his legs started to shake again. He said, "It's here." According to the results, the exclusive partner for the entire year for Miley is. "Congratulations to Thunder Express," he shouted. "We did it. Is there anyone else?" And just like that, at the last moment, Santi led Thunder Express back from the brink of death. But Canon's Jiasu Express was being taken over by Thailand's largest company. The major shareholders in China couldn't bear to watch the market value continue to plummet. So even though the young master didn't want to sell, he had no choice. Word was that Canon wanted to buy back Thunder Express, but Santi flatly refused. Santi figured they couldn't last long. Getting this far was hard enough. Santi's Thunder Express was steadily growing, but the position of CFO was still always vacant, because in his heart, he was always saving it for Xiao Yu. He didn't dare attend her farewell party. He only learned from Ruiji that Xiao Yu had cried for 2 hours straight that day. Ruiji said it was fine. She had to leave sooner or later, and Santi shouldn't worry so much. Time flew by, and it was now 2021. The sandpit boss was still doing the same old job. He saw a familiar figure in the newspaper. Santi's Thunder Express had a market value of over 30 billion baht. Only now did he dare tell his mother about his greatest achievement. But his mother knew from the first day he started delivering packages that her son had a bigger future. She said, "I'm so proud of you." In just 2 years, Chairman Santi has successfully completed the Series A funding round, bringing the market value of Thunder Express to over 30 billion Thai baht and becoming Thailand's first unicorn company. It's projected that, in the fourth quarter of this year, it will expand into the Southeast Asian market. The sandpit boss was very happy and suddenly noticed the old scale in the photo. Far away in Shanghai, Xiao Yu had married and had children, becoming a carefree homemaker. That day, while she was chopping vegetables, she heard the doorbell ring. She asked, "Who are you looking for?" A familiar voice replied, "Package delivery for you." Her heart fluttered. When she walked out the door, she finally dared to face her old startup partner. Xiao Yu asked, "You've expanded into foreign markets, and you're still using that old equipment?" Santi replied that it's because it's durable enough. Xiao Yu said that she thought she would never see him again in this lifetime. Santi came to pay her back. He had upgraded the old 34,000 debt into a check for 200 million Thai baht. Santi said that this was a little bit of his heart, and also to deeply commemorate the days they struggled together. This money can pay off all of her father's debts, and maybe even be enough to buy back her childhood home that had been foreclosed on. Xiao Yu said that she thought he would use cash to fill up her doorway. Santi replied that he had actually tried, but 200 kg was too hard to carry over here. Xiao Yu said that she was very disappointed. Mr. Cannon, Santi's former mentor, was also about to retire. He wanted a cigarette. When the other person asked what he planned to do next, he smiled again. He said, "The information fee is very high, you know." Cannon replied, "1 cigarette is enough." This is the end of the film. Thank you for watching the entire video. Leave a comment below if you want me to work on another project. Goodbye, and see you again.